What I wanted to go over right now, what I had mentioned in the email to everybody, is dealing with why commercial right now is a good time to reach out to your folks, businesses, big, small, and everything. Some people have asked me what's the smallest that they do. Usually it's about 30 kilowatts. There's the possibility they might go down to 20, but right now it's 30, and then the sky's the limit with the other stuff. I wanted to show y'all some stuff right now. If y'all need this, this is the newer. It's similar to the old commercial brochure, and I have these on file. If you need one, you can just email me. And if any folks come in and watch this video afterwards, you can email me and I'll get this to you. This is a fillable brochure. What you do right here is you come over to this section right here, and all you do is click fill and sign like this, and then it'll change its status. You give it a minute while I'm recording and stuff. It runs a little slower, and all you do is you just click just like this.
Hey, Lane, you might need to share a video for us for them to be able to see it.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Let me go back and do that.
See, that saying, bad association spoils useful habits. See, Lane's been around me, and he's forgetting to share the screen with us so we can see what he's doing. That's my fault.
No, I'm just tired.
I know the feeling.
I'm waiting. I'm watching a little ball spin around, so y'all bear with me. I've got a couple of programs open. It's probably making this run a little slower. I am recording, so let me share the screen. Sure. Okay, let me minimize this, get this out of the way up here, and I'll bring this back up, folks. Thanks, Jeremy. I wasn't even paying attention. But this is it right here. The old commercial one is similar to this. It didn't have these steps included in here, which gives more information to the commercial folks of what you actually need to get in there and help them. And what I showed over here is this area right here. I've already clicked on it, but let me go back and close this out, and I'll walk through real quick. What you do is this page will load up like this. It's a PDF. It's a fillable. And what you do is over here, you just scroll down here. You click on fill and sign. The page will set itself up, and all you do is click right there and you type like this. Oops. There we go. And then on your next line, you can click right here for your next batch, and you can just type in like your cell phone, email, and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you that quick one, but if you need this flyer, this brochure, I've got it for you, and I can get it to you, no problem. Just email me at etxsolar@outlook.com. Most of y'all already have my email, but I just wanted to let you know that. So let me close this one. And of course, this is a very good thing why you should work with Crew and Solar Site Design. And Jason and them over at Solar Site Design are fantastic. If some of you haven't worked with them, a lot of you I think have already dealt with them, and they are great over there. Let me bring up the second one I wanted to show you. And yes, this one. This is a project I have in, and I finally got the CFO's information for this company. And I'll be reaching out to get with him. I sent it to a person over there a couple of times, and I haven't got anything back, but I've got the new CFO over there at the company. This project to show you what it is, and I'm sorry, I'm sitting with a door open here, and my neighbor's mowing over here, but it's the project's $1.5 million project. This is cash purchase price, 1.5. But the amazing thing is the 30-year savings right here, if you can take a look at, is $5,025,000. Now, I bring that up, I'm going to show you some other things, but this is what comes to you when you input the information for a customer. This sheet is on here, and it's the one that you really want the business owner or the people, the CFOs or any CPAs that they have to take a look at, because this is the one you can show them all the panels and everything, but it doesn't mean anything unless someone that deals with booking with them, the CPA, like I said, the CFOs, CPAs, the bookkeepers and stuff, it doesn't mean anything without them really looking at the sheet, because this gives the numbers that you really want them to see. Their first year savings right here on this line, besides what I showed you, over 30 years, this is money they're already spending. Okay, people, you need to understand this is money they're already spending, or they're going to spend over the next 30 years. They're going to save $5 million. Okay, the first year savings alone is $115,238. We come down here, the rate ROI, return on investment, which a lot of companies always ask you that. So become familiar with when you get in there and ask them. Most financing for businesses and stuff, I believe, runs about 8 years. So pretty much their rate of return is going to be a little higher. It's going to be within that 8-year period because it'll be paid off and they'll start getting the returns. But right now, what you're looking at is this company right now is looking at 5.7 years, which is nothing in business years. You know, especially with the company that I'm dealing with here, it's been around a long time. Electricity escalation rate is 3%, which is right on the money for our area. With the company that utility we're dealing with is Sweatco, and I figured up one day with GeoStellar, even when we were dividend and stuff like that, figured up they had 2.9 dividend. I actually broke down my electric bill and stuff on my personal one, and the yearly increase was 2.9. This is 3% now because they are getting a bump in the utility prices. Let me go down here, and this just shows you the 7 year, 5.7 years worth of payoff. But this is another thing I wanted to show you right here. Now, if you take a look at this company, what we've done is we've only got them at 59%. And believe me, they have much more room to put these panels. Let me bring this picture up here. Let's take a look at this. Okay, right now, the area that we've got them as ground mounts. Okay, this is a snippet I did, and I sent this back to Jason and say we have more potential ground mounts, but we also have the whole building that we can put in too on top. So even though we only have them 59% and the panels are running right here, we still have this whole area back here and this area over here where we can influence more ground mounts for them. And if that doesn't get them at 100%, which it should, because this batch right here gets at 59%, we run them the rest of the way here and some over here, we'll get them at 100%. If not, we still have the whole top of the building left that we can deal with. So the overall savings that they're looking at, excuse me, and I'm going to close that picture and help my computer run a little better. I'm sorry. But the next page that, as you can see, there's page 4 there. Page right here, it's the same page. Page 4 shows you where we showed all the savings and overall cost and everything to them. And what happens is when we get down here, we're at 59%. But here's the most important thing, and this is something that the CFOs and CPAs and stuff need to look at also, is that the solar PV system cost is $1.5 million. Okay. The federal tax credit, ITC, is $450,000. Okay. So they'll be able to file that towards the ITC credit off their taxes next year. But when you're dealing with commercial and businesses, right here is another important aspect that they get. They can do federal depreciation. Now, I'm not a tax accountant, so this is why it's important to get them to the CFOs, the CPAs. I'm not giving tax advice. I'm just showing what's available to them. And so the overall system cost comes out to $667,500. Now, if we go, I figured up if we can get them up at 100%, Total system cost would probably be about 2.8 million. And we could take the depreciation and the ITC credit off of that, and it'd be lower. And the ROI might be a little higher, but probably not by too much. But what I wanted to point out is right here on the example that I have at $667,500, we'll scroll back up here, and in the first year alone, they're saving $115,000. So you can take that $115,000 that they're going to save in the first year and subtract it from there. And bring that up, clear this out, and we got 667,500. I'm not doing it in my head on fire, folks. Normally I can. Minus 115,000. Let me scroll back up there. I told you I'm tired than Jeremy. I'll tell you usually I go with numbers. 115, 238. Okay, so let me get that back up. 115, 238. So actually, in the first year, granted, with the depreciation goes over 5 years, they can get a lot more up front in the first year. And I'm going to show you something on dealing with commercial credits and stuff like that, the aspects of them. So really, in the first year, it's costing them $5,522,066. Okay. Or no, excuse me, $552,262. Okay. So their overall savings at dealing with commercial is phenomenal right now. And of course, Congress has expanded the ITC credits. I believe it's till 2021. They did it in 2016, added 5 more years onto it, both for residential and I believe commercial. And then it begins to taper down after that. I don't know the exact figures on my head on that. But I wanted to go ahead and then this is just showing the graphs. And this is some of the stuff, rebates and incentives. It breaks it down, total incentives, and 50%, mark 382. This is the information that they get, or that you get, that you can get to them. So they're accountants, and there's a lot of numbers, and this is what's really important, because you know people that deal, you know people that are accountants and CPAs, stuff like that. They are numbers people, and that's why they do what they do. Okay, all right. Let me bring up this next one right here, and this is the commercial guide to federal investment tax credit for solar PV. Now, granted, it says right here till 2016, but the tax credit has been extended. So it would decrease to 10% starting in 2017. I believe this has been bumped up for 5 years. I will do a little research and double check on it, so don't completely take my word for it. But I wanted to show you, I have this page right here saved in my files, and I was looking for trying to find an updated information, and I just couldn't find it in time before the meeting. And I'm just kind of scrolling through here, and it's the basis of, you know, 0.3 times 1 million equals 300,000. Now, the one thing that I did want to point out that I ran across, and like I said, I was looking for an updated aspect on this. It says, one exception is if the rebate is provided by the utility to a customer for the purchase, saying a local utility or something like that. What it does is, in this case, in the states here, the utility rebate is subtracted from the tax basis, reducing the amount of the ITC claim. But however, the rebate is not considered taxable income, so that's great. For example, if the tax base is $1 million, it shows here, system installed at an apartment complex, and the utility gave a one-time rebate of $100,000. The ITC is now this. Here's the formula for it. First off, you have to subtract 100,000 from the 1 million, puts it at $900,000 times 0.3 comes up to $270,000. Accelerated depreciation. This is information that just explains about the depreciation and how they can deal with allow up to 85% of tax base is depreciated over the next 5 years. And this is where the accountants really come in on this aspect. This is just a piece of paper for you to have to help educate yourself a little bit. And then when I find the updated one, I've been to 2 or 3 sites and haven't found the updated information since since they've actually bumped it, increase in 2016. Now, the total impact of the liability and stuff, it breaks down even further. And like I said, this is for the CPAs and stuff to really take a look at. The unused credits and so on, tax exempt entities, PPOs, stuff like that. It breaks it all down in the sheet to go through and look at. And you got the Internal Revenue Service, of course. But this is just one of the things that you want to get to. Close that down. It's just one of the things that you want to be able to get to your customer and have them take a look at it. And let me see if there's anything else I want to share. That's not public. There we go. I'm trying to remember what this is. Y'all learn as fast as I do, so it pops up. And well, oh yeah, Jeremy and I wanted to show y'all. This is what we use at the shows. When we have, what we do is this prints on one sheet of paper, and we take and we cut it right here, and we put it on a clipboard. And we have pens on the table, of course, for brochures and stuff like that. But while we're talking to customers, we've had many times we're talking with customers, and other customers, you know, sometimes people in a rush trying to go through, but we've had a lot of people write their names down and just leave the sheet. And the reason we do it separate like this is so people understand that once they put their information down here, we take it off the clipboard and we put it in the back file behind the table where no one else can see their information. We keep their information private. As I was showing Jeremy last week, I put in here potential battery backup. A lot of people have been asking about this. I also put the date so people date it to help you remember. I've ran across some that I did not realize I had in a briefcase in a folder, and went, oh my goodness, I forgot about these. And but I have copies of this too, if you'd like, or you can take a look at the basic information. It's very simple type. It's just a regular Word program, and it's just typed in, just like this. Okay, let me get over here, and I will close that one out too. Now the computer's running a little faster. And, I have more articles and stuff that I'll be posting in GeoStellar Breezio and stuff. But let me let this close down. I will stop share right here. And if you have questions, we can go from there. Hey, Mr. White, how are you tonight? Or is that Joyce? I'm sorry. Okay. Does anybody have any questions right now?
Hey, it's Chris. What's that assessment you just showed us? What's the typical turnaround time for that?
With solar site design?
Yes, the initial one.
It depends on how quickly you can get in with them. Like I said, I've been trying to get in with them since last November and stuff through some folks that I knew at the company, and they gave me information, and I sent it to them. And that, like I said, I've sent it twice and never looked at it. Well, now I have the actual CFO information, and it will move a lot quicker. I'm drafting a letter to get over to him. But usually on commercial jobs, they can take anywhere from 3 months, 6 months, up to a year.
Yeah, it's a long sales cycle.
Yeah, it is. Smaller businesses can move along quicker because they have, more control and quick say so. On bigger companies like this that I'm dealing with, it's a longer cycle. But the main thing is, if I could have got it to where the person that I sent it to would have opened it. I personally didn't know him. I knew other people in the company, about 3 or 4, that referred me to him. I just couldn't get in with him. And that was the problem. But now I have the actual CFO of the company. I just got that today. And hopefully get these numbers to them and let him take a look at it and say, wow, this is something we really should take a look at. Because a lot of corporations right now, a lot of businesses, IKEA is really going across the country. I just read another one where I think they're doing one in Tennessee. I know they've done one in Dallas. I'm trying to think of where the other one is. They just did another one. the IKEA company, where they've got the whole rooftop solar, and they're growing. And that's what I'm hoping with this company that I'm dealing with right now will do, because they've got 164 more plants, just like the one I showed you. So hopefully, if I can get the one started, it will lead off into the rest.
Based on the numbers, based on the numbers in that assessment,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they could say no to that.
Yeah,
The savings are significant.
Right, and that's the thing, when you put the numbers for them, and that's the thing, we're even with a small business owner or something, and you show them the numbers. I actually have a guy, a small one, it's a 32 kilowatt. It's up north of me here, and I live in East Texas, and he actually wants solar panels, but what he's waiting on is where the building that he owns that he wants solar on, the actual city council meets in that building. And when he was talking to them about the solar panels, what they actually want to do is they actually, for the city, want to put incentives in place, because it's not a huge city, but the other businesses there would benefit from it. One of the businesses right next door to them, across the alley from them, to the west, has already shown interest that he wants information once he sees what happens with his. And he is waiting on the city to initiate local incentives on top of the savings that he's getting from the ITC and the depreciation. And I'm patient. You can get frustrated at times, but I am patient, Chris. But see, the overall payout on this job alone, just where it stands, if we can get them at 100%, I'm looking at about a $78,000 check. So if I figure if it takes me a year, which we're going on a year now next month, since I put it in, but didn't have the right contacts, I probably could have had more efficiency going into 6 months. But going on a year, if it takes another year, you take the 78,000 divided in two, that's 35,000 a year just for the one building. So that's pretty much worth it. But it is time. It does take some time for some of them, especially on the bigger ones. If you're dealing, when you go towards school systems and churches, there's special financing in place that Jason and them have said that they have now in place for schools, municipalities, and them that are considered, would you say, nonprofits and stuff like that that don't qualify for ITC credits, but they have good financing in place for that. And so, you can reach out to some of the churches and schools and stuff like that and see where things go with that. But right now, I concentrate on the commercial aspects. But this time of the year, right now, October, a lot of businesses are looking or working on their budgets for next year. Now is a good time to try and throw something into, get with them and just say, hey, if you don't get the 12 months bills as best if you can, but if you can just find out what their average monthly bill is in some of the smaller businesses and stuff like that, Jason, they might be able to put something together where you can walk over and show it to them. And with them working on their budgets for next year right now, they might go, wow, we need to take a look at this. I mean, here's a way for us to start saving money right away. And it's all about the bottom line. With so much regulation, just everything that's out there right now, the business owner is really strapped to try and find ways to save money. Well, here's a way for them. And then eventually, if you can get them at 100%, eventually that utility bill's gone. And that is strict money right back in their business. They can buy new trucks. They can buy computers. They can pay their employees more. They can hire more employees. With the deal, looking at the budgeting and the money savings that they're going to have down the road.
Are the loans that are available for the commercial end of this, are they similar to the residential type loans, the 12-year, 20-year, or are they on the lower end?
They're
5
usually,
years?
the interest rate's usually lower. They will run 8 years, usually the average on a commercial loan. Excuse me. One thing you need to understand is if it's a smaller loan, like a 30K system, somewhere around there. I forget what it tops out at. It might run up to maybe 60 kW. Usually they're only going to get one around the 30K, one financier. Jason and I may have other financiers that are capable of it right now, but the guy that I was dealing with up in Northeast Texas area here, one financier came in, and I forget what his interest rate was, and I've already closed that document. I think they had them at 4.99 maybe, which isn't too bad for financing, but he was trying to get some U.S. grants and stuff like that, and that's kind of time consuming there also. But usually the smaller end ones, you don't get as many financiers jumping in on it. Now, when you start getting to the bigger ones, like I showed you the $1.5 million ones, stuff like that, you could have 6, 7 finance companies come in and say, hey, we're going to give them this price, we're going to do this for them. But a lot of times companies that size that I showed you, they actually sometimes have the money available to just pay it outright and start getting their ROI right away. Each year for the utility they're saving, but the return on that was 5.7 years, and that's pretty minimal when you look at that. They're going to start saving that money each month as the utilities are going up. And like I said, the most important thing to pass along to them is this is money they're already spending, other than cash up front like that. But they're already spending this on a utility bill, okay? We're not coming in and asking them to spend more than what they're usually spending on the utility bills now, especially with the commercial aspect. It's pretty low. Sometimes the financing is 2.99. It just, it depends on the aspects, and that's where you have to get this in to see what it comes back to you. But the most important thing you can pass along to them, say, look, you're spending this money. How about let me do an assessment for you? Here's the brochure. Here's my name and number. You know what? If I could get a copy of 12 months bills, that'd be great. We could fine tune it. I could get it back to you, and we can show you where we're going to save you some money. And I have the availability because I have some proposals with me. I can black out the customer's name and I can show them. Say, look, this is what I've done for this company. Over here's 1, here's 2. I think I have about 5 or 6 or 7 of them in there that I'm dealing with, and I've got some more that I'm getting ready to get back with and stuff. But if you can't get the actual bill right away, try and get it submitted to Jason and MS, and you put in the notes there that this is an approved one. Could you get me some information for them? I couldn't get the 12 months bills, but they told me their average monthly payment. And Jason then will probably put together for you you need the address and contact information, of course, and get that into them. And then you can take this back to that customer and slide it across the table and say, hey, I told you, here's what we figured we could do with you based on what you told me your average is. To fine tune this better and really get the numbers down, to actually show you right on the money where we can save you, I need the 12 months bills. But right now, this is a pre-assessment based on what you told me and this here. But if you can get 12 months bills, that's the best thing to do and most important thing. But like you were saying, Chris, if you can get this to them and they take a look at the numbers and they get this to, business owner may have, if it's small business, he may do the stuff himself. Most of them have bookkeepers and stuff. But if you can get this to them, it's like I've said to one of them is, well, who does your bookkeeping? And they say, oh, so-and-so CPA down the road. Oh, yeah, I know them. And if you happen to be in the town that you're dealing with right there, you can say, well, I tell you what, Jim, let me leave this with you right here. And you know what? I'll run this down to so-and-so. I'm heading over that way. And you go by and say, I'll just run in and I'll drop this off to them so you two can get together later. I'm not going to bother CPA. I'm just going to walk in and drop it off and say, hey, this is for so-and-so's, sporting goods over here. I've done this pre-assessment for you. I'm dropping it off. He's got one over his place. He's looking at it. And just see what you think, if this is going to be where you think the business needs to go. This is a way for y'all to save money. And a lot of times you're not going to be able to get right into the CPA. They're not going to be available. They'll be busy. say I'm supposed to lead this for so-and-so from such and such, Jim's Hardware, Jim's Sporting Goods down there, and let the CPA take a look at it. And if he knows it's from one of his customers, he's going to pull it in, he's going to look at it. And y'all know people that, like I mentioned earlier, people that deal with numbers, when they look at this, they're going to go, wow, we need to sit and talk. He'll call Jim up and say, Jim, we might need to really take a look at this. Why don't you call, way back, call Chris back. Let's see if we can get a meeting set up with him. And Jason and Loyette and them, and the finance people that deal with that over there that set up, get the financing rolling and stuff, they are more than happy to set up a call with you where you can go into the meeting with them and you can have a call going while you're sitting in there with them, and they will answer all the questions financially that these people might, especially CPA, might have to ask. So it's not, you don't have to worry about you being the CPA trying him asking you questions and you not knowing everything. That's the great thing about this business, is we have people that are going to be here to help. And that aspect, when dealing with stuff like that, especially numbers from CPAs and stuff, you might be going, oh, I don't know, I feel uncomfortable with that. You can set up, if they call you, you can call Jason or you can email them and say, hey, these people want to meet on this project here that we just did. And what can happen is you can turn around and set the time and a call up with them that everybody can get together and they'll answer all the questions. And believe me, they'll answer them to where that CPA is going to turn over and look at the owner of the business and say, we've got to do this. You want to save some money, this is the way you're going to save money, and then you'll have extra cash in the future too to put back into the business. Questions?
Yeah, Lane, Chris again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
On the commercial end with solar design, do they offer, what type of warranties, and is there price match guarantees if another company comes in? I'm trying to compare.
Right. I don't know about the price match guarantee. I do know on the panels are 25-year warranties. On the inverters are 15. And if people say, well, the inverters don't cost as much near as much as panels, stuff like that. But the reason is when you're dealing with commercial and industrial stuff like that, it puts a heavy load on the inverters, and they guarantee them for 15 years. And I think it's, and I don't have that right in front of me, but I believe on the 15 years, it shows the cost of the replacement of the inverters, which is minimal. I think that's on page, I think it's about page 9 down where it breaks down each year on the proposed pre-assessment. It breaks down, it shows year 15, it shows if they have to replace the inverters, it shows the cost there. Okay. And so there's a 15-year warranty on the inverters and 15 on the 25 on the panels. And I do know, Jason and them were telling me, well, especially here in Texas right now, which, Chris, I do know that, no, it was Robert. Robert's out in New York. But, Chris, where are you located?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. And Jay White up there, where are you located, bud? It looked like he was locked out. Okay, you're in Connecticut. You have some really good stuff out there on the East Coast out there, and it looks like he might have froze again. But in Texas right now, I think they said they have and Robin, I think Robin had mentioned it the other night, but Mitsubishi is coming in strong with a lot of installers and stuff like that, and the warranties and stuff like that. It's going to keep getting better and better. But right now, I do know it's 15 on the inverters and 25 on the panels.
How about on workmanship?
On workmanship, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it's
Lane?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Elaine, don't they on the commercial aspect, doesn't that go off of the workmanship warranty goes by, if I remember correctly, whoever the installer was, that, where they offer get different bids to get the best price for the customer. A large part of that will be based off of what their bid was, their warranty, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it might be. I'm trying to look up
I think it's based on what the installer's warranty, the one that won the bid for the customer.
but I think they have at least a 5-year on the workmanship.
I think they do.
But I'm trying to bring up the stuff right now, so bear with me if y'all as I look for it. I closed it down earlier, but I'm trying to find my file.
So Solar Design doesn't have a backup warranty, or in addition to like GeoStellar does for the
Like the $1 million one? No.
Yeah, nothing like that to back up the installer's workmanship warranty.
I'll check into that, Chris. I'll check with Jason and double check. Yeah.
Right.
Hello.
Somebody said Lane, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Who was calling on Lane?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I'm having a small problem here. Yeah, I'm Robert.
Okay, Robert.
I sent you a question before about the
Yes, sir.
the one customer, potential customer that I have. He wants to get solar panels, but he wants to get enough solar panels to carry four of his neighbors.
Yes, sir.
Would that be doable through a commercial or residential hookup?
Yes, Robert, I sent you an email in response to that. I reached out and I talked with Jennifer at GeoStellar on that aspect, and she forwarded me the partners at GeoStellar that deal with community solar. Is this customer, you're up in New York area, right, Robert?
Yes.
Okay.
That customer is on Long Island.
Where at?
That customer, that potential customer would be on Long Island.
Long Island.
Out
Okay,
in
good. I will forward that information. Yes. I will forward that information to them because I specifically sent exactly what you asked me on that, and I forwarded that to them. And I had sent you a response a while back when you first sent that to me on the September 28th. I sent the information to them, what I responded to you on that to begin with, and say, am I correct in this aspect or not? And I'm waiting for them to get back to me. I checked my email just for the meeting. I hadn't gotten anything from them. As soon as I get a response to that, because in the New York area, I'm not sure where at, there is community solar through GeoStellar up there. So that might be a possibility for this customer, okay? But the thing is, I think with community solar, it actually has to be pretty big. I think it has to be 100 kW, okay? Now, in the aspects of dealing with, like you said, 4 neighbors and stuff like that, it might be big enough with 4 neighbors. You might get 100K, but he's got to have the space to do it. And as soon as I get information back from them, okay, folks, I looked at my sheet and I do not see, I'm looking for the warranty information right now. All I got are the pricing. I would, Chris, I will double check with Jason Wyatt. I will find out where we're at on the workmanship and stuff to double check because I don't see it right in front of me. And but I will double check for you, sir, and we'll find out where we're at on that. And as soon as I get the information, I will forward it to you. And
great, thank you.
I see that Rob popped out again. He'll be back in. but the information for him, I'll get that to him as soon as GeoStellar gets back to me. I'll get the information forwarded to him on that for the customers. But if the homeowner has his own home and he wants four other neighbors. Excuse me while I think, folks. He has four other neighbors, and I'm not sure what size system up there in New York area on the East Coast. Down in our area, I got an 11.4 system on my home. So if you pick four people, that's a 40 kW, maybe probably about 45 kW. I'm not sure if that's going to be big enough for community solar, unless he actually has a spot big enough to do it and wants to put it in. I'll look up and see what the minimum is on the community solar also. I'll find out there, because I do know it's in New York, it's in Michigan, it's in DC, and I'm thinking it's Maine is the other state, the four right now that they're kind of running the betas and stuff like that. For the
I think Minnesota might be one of them, I think.
I know. Is it Minnesota? Am I wrong with Michigan? Yeah, I think you're right. I believe it's Minnesota. Minnesota or Michigan. I can't remember offhand, because I don't look too much into community solar right now because it's not available in my area. So once it is, I will know everything about it. But as of right now, the availability of it for us in Texas, where I'm at, Chris, stuff like that, it's not that much. So I try and learn what I can to help you all out based on the community solar and stuff like that. So I have some knowledge. But with not being available, like I said, in our area, Jeremy and I here in Texas, I just kind of know tidbits and this and that. And usually if I need to know something, I reach out to them at GeoStellar and I ask them about it.
It's Minnesota, Maryland, New York, Massachusetts, and
DC.
And Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was Maryland. I was thinking that was it. I appreciate that, Chris. Thank you. But yeah, the reason I say Michigan is because I was thinking Todd's from Michigan who's on here. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think it's in Michigan. I think, yeah, and when you mentioned Minnesota, I said, yeah, I believe it's there. And actually, Minnesota's doing a lot of stuff community-wise, putting a lot of stuff together and stuff like that. But Robert, as soon as I get the information from them, I will forward it to you in an email so you'll have the information you need. Okay, any other questions tonight?
Yeah, I had another question involving I'm basically concentrating on getting gas stations, and I have potential customers that because mobile is a franchise, a franchise situation. So you have to get in contact with the owner of that franchise.
Yes.
And he has 4 stations, and I'm still trying to make connection with him.
Okay.
I also got another guy, others that own 3 gas stations. They're it's a ma and pa. I call it a ma and pa operation. They're excited because I contacted them yesterday. I happened to be walking in to give the manager a flyer, and they were still there. And so I'm getting ready to set up a meeting with them, whereas they can give me, I'm going to give them the information. But how would I do an assessment for them? Is that the basic, the same setup, the same assessment setup that GeoStellar has?
No, if it's a commercial, you go through solar site design.
Right, I go to solar site design, but I do it, the same type of hookup, assessment hookup like GeoStellar.
Yeah, what will happen is you can get the bill, you'll go in, you'll set up the customer, and you'll put the information in. Jason Loya, and then we'll send you, like I showed you the one that I have for that big company. You'll get something like that back that you'll be able to take back to this customer. It'll have all the information, breakdown, information for you, the savings that they'll be looking at, what their overall, what they'll save the first year, what they'll save over the next 30 years, and stuff like that. Make sure you've got the proper address for it, and all the information, any information that you can get. If you can get pictures of the meters, you can get pictures of the inflow boxes, anything that you can get to put forward to Jason and them when they go to design this, it's nothing but a plus for you on your end to get to
Okay.
it. But the most important thing overall, Robert, is the 12 months bills. If you get the 12 months bills, they can set you up. They can set up anything for you, and we can deal with you can deal with other aspects with installers coming out and looking at it and stuff like that. But the best thing is get them the 12 months bills, because then they can pretty much get you right on the nose a design done for you. If you got 12 months bills, they will have the panels. They will show where they're at. It'll be on the picture. It'll show where it's at, and they'll show you the savings. You have all the information, and with the usage that they have for the last 12 months, they'll know exactly what to design for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And
That sounds good.
Right. And if you need any help, you just email me, text me, whatever you need. I'll be glad to help you. Are you set up in Solar Site Design? Are you registered and everything in there?
Yes. I just haven't I just haven't given them a profile picture and a profile
I'm not.
breakdown.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
That's basically it with them.
Have you input a customer yet into there? Looks like he locked up on us. If you need help inputting a customer, all you have to do is reach out to me, and I'll sit at my computer while you're at yours, and I will completely walk you through it on what to do, where to input information, how to upload files, and all that. And the same with you, Chris, if you need any help, and Todd knows it too, I'll be glad to. And anybody else y'all have, if you need help, just email me. We'll set up a time. I'll sit across. I'm not going to do a Zoom, but I can have you sitting at your computer, and I can walk you through step by step on what to do and what notes to put in for Jason and them, how to upload the files, and all the information. Then how to go back in and double check everything after that, and make sure everything's loaded properly, and you'll be good to go. Okay, any other questions, folks?
Hey, if Lane's tied up, he'll let me know. I'll help you out too, so it's no problem. One of us
exactly.
we have your back.
Yeah. All right, folks, we've got about 10 minutes to 8. If there's no other questions, I'm going to shut the meeting down. I will post this. I do have a video posted from last week, but I didn't make it public. You have to make a link because I have the Google Docs on there where it shows what you get paid by the size of your home or your commercial one, and I don't want that going out public to anybody. So I'll get a link put together for that, send it to you, and if you don't have that Google Doc, just email me and I can forward it to you, so you can click on there, type in the size of your system, and you'll have an idea what you're going to be paid. Excuse me. Anything else, everybody?
Hey, Lane, can you hear me?
I sure can, Todd.
Just wondered how you're doing. I can hear you. I just can't see you for whatever reason.
Gotta be on your end. I can see him.
Yeah, I can. Chris is blocked this. I was seeing him. He put it out, and I see Jeremy. I see myself, and I see your name, Todd.
Don't worry, Todd. He's still as ugly as I am.
I sure am.
Well, the three amigos then.
Yeah, no, I'm doing well, Todd. I appreciate you asking.
Good.
So
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why the video is not working. I can see you, but I'm guessing you can't see me.
No, I can't see you. Might be something with your camera.
Well,
I don't know.
may have hit something on there. I've noticed now that there's a thing where you can click and you can share your video or stop sharing your video.
Yeah.
It's usually on the
your-
bottom left corner.
Move your cursor down to the bottom left corner there, Todd. Or it might be the top left, I'm not sure, but it says stop video. There's a little arrow, you can click on it. It says HD webcam or video settings, but you can click on stop video, or you can click, see, like I stopped right there, and now I turned it back on.
Yeah, that's what I did.
It looks normal, but
Okay. Well,
in
that's
today's
good.
world, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are there any questions?
Sound like
All right.
Russ is, there he is.
See you next time then.
Okay, no problem, Chris. Or excuse me, not Chris, Todd.
Todd,
I'm sorry, y'all. But
I'm not alone anymore.
yeah. But
See you,
I know-
Lane. See you, Jeremy.
No problem. But I do know there was a few people that messaged me at a time, so they weren't going to be on there, which I could. But that's why I didn't pop up the Google thing on here, because I want to be able to list to go public. So I'll send this out. Y'all probably get an email. Once this loads up, I'll get it to YouTube, and y'all can click on there, and you can follow through and just walk through on this one and see this and see that. Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, y'all.
See you guys.
Thanks for
Y'all
being
take care.
on, man.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Night, Lane.
Night.